Sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. When I did it, I was fucked up, fucked up, fucked up, fucked up. I was fucked up, fucked up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Now you see now, you know.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Put my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power.
All right. Were they jamming or not? Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Saturday Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, let's get those likes up, like, share, and also don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, because honey, they be unsubscribing people on a daily basis. Okay, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. Let's see who is up in here. All right, shout out to my moderators putting in work. We got Desmond in the house, Auntie Leah. Okay, let's get into it. Miss Sheila, Patricia, Deronda, Pearly. All right, Sean H is here, Simply Kai. All right, most hated bronze flat power god, Jazzy J is here. Okay, let's get it popping. Okay, so that all been said, everyone hit that like button now. Andrea is here. Okay, Patricia. Fifi is in the house. All right. So y'all know I love me some Loyal Royals, all right? Y'all know I absolutely do. So let's get into it because, you know, Diddy's attorneys have filed another motion, and we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. But first, let me just say this, okay? Now, y'all going to get sick of me because I already told y'all that when fake Nancy Drew copies my talking points, I'm absolutely going to call her out each and every time. I don't give a damn if she does it 100 times a day. I'm going to call it out 100 times a day. Now, I want you all to pay attention to something, okay? I want you all to pay attention to something. Now, keep in mind that this is the same person who tried to act like I'm copying her. Let's get into it. Now, I want you all to pay attention to this video right here that I did 4 days ago. And let me say, I have a little tactic that I've been doing where I purposely wait until she reports on something so that she can give her own talking points. And then I come back, because usually my talking points are the opposite of hers. Very seldom do we agree. And that's because I exercise critical thinking skills. Now I want y'all to pay attention. Do y'all remember this video? Do y'all remember this video? Now look at the title. I did this how many days ago? 4 days ago exactly. Y'all see that? The title is Diddy going free. Diddy's escorts to claim consent. Fed's case crumbles. Okay. Now, with that being said, let's listen to what I said at the 20-minute mark. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. I got to keep showing my receipts, honey, because people just want to steal all the credit.
There is no plausible good cause to restrict access to them under Rule 16D1. Accordingly, they should be produced in the normal course so that the defense may evaluate and use them in the same manner as the other Rule 16 and Brady material. The 9 videos at issue are the so-called freak-off tapes with victim 1 that the government has repeatedly referenced, causing wild speculation in the media. Contrary to what the government has led this court and the public to believe, the so-called freak-offs were private sexual activity between fully consenting adults in a long-term relationship. Like many Americans in the privacy of their own bedrooms, they sometimes filmed their sexual activity. These videos unambiguously show that the person alleged in the indictment to be victim 1 not only consented, but thoroughly enjoyed herself. These recordings corroborate what witnesses have told the government, namely victim 1. Okay, the recordings also directly refute the allegations that Mr. Combs kept these videos as collateral, because Cassie's the one who had them. I want y'all to pay attention. Cassie is the one who had these videos, all 9, gave it to the feds. Now that refutes the allegation that Diddy had them as collateral, holding them over her or anyone else's head. But she had them herself. These recordings were not on Mr. Combs' devices. Where is y'all's case at, feds? And were not seized from his homes. Rather, victim 1 kept these videos on her own device for years and produced them to the government herself. Are y'all listening to the bullshit? Are y'all listening? Lord have mercy. If Diddy gets off, I'm going to pass all the way out. I am not even joking.
Okay, I think we've heard enough. And then I came back later on the next day. I think it was the next day or maybe the same day. It was the next day. Me and Gavin did a video together where I said the same thing. And the caption was, prove it. And I said, Diddy may go free. Now I want you all to pay attention, because on the same day that I did that video, and I waited for her to post about it first, because I knew she wasn't going to have the same talking points and that all she's going to do is flip-flop and try to copy mine. Now, she did a video that same day, and her caption was, plot exposed, because she said Diddy was plotting. Now, here's what she had to say. Please pay attention.
They explain that becomes the case. Oh, well, Your Honor, they just made an assumption. Okay, but even though we made an assumption, the assumption was right. Guards, take Diddy's phone away again. He checks on Mark Agnafilio too much. Because every single time we get these letters, Diddy is on that burner phone going crazy, Twitter fingers, and then Mark Agnafilio is following a million motions that don't make any sense, right?
Now she said Mark Agnafilio is filing a million motions that don't make any sense. Well, they absolutely do make sense. He's making very good and valid points. And I already told you all months ago that the feds keep bumbling this investigation. It seems like they might be doing it on purpose. Now, fast forward. Here's what she posted about 15 hours ago. And shout out to my moderator who sent me this.
Get in here. We have an emergency. Sean Diddy Combs might have actually figured out a way to get out of jail. I repeat, he might have actually figured out a way to get out of jail. At the very least, he seems like he is beating the prosecutors at their own game. Y'all, this is not this.
She said he seems like he's beating the prosecutors at their own game. I'm sorry, but isn't that what the Queen said? And didn't she, in fact, say that Mark Agnafilio was filing a million motions that don't make sense? I'm sorry. I need y'all to pay attention, okay? Because I'm going to keep calling her arse out. All right, I'm gonna keep calling her arse out, because that's what she does. She steals my talking points, and what she says she just throws that out the window because she does not have the logic that the queen does. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. All right. That's why when I go in on her and her little people tattletale say, oh, you're just hating on her. No, honey, nobody's hating. She's hating on the queen, honey. That's what she's doing. Okay. Because I have critical thinking skills. Faye said, you told us Queen heard it here first. Exactly. Oh, and by the way, she started saying that too. Okay, please pay attention. Another thing I heard her say, shout out to Olivia for sending it to me, was she said that she was the first one to say, y'all know, we were the first ones to say that Diddy was under a RICO investigation. No, you weren't. You were not the first one to say it. I was the first one to say it. I said, Diddy is going to be just like R. Kelly. He's going to get R. Kelly and they're going to have a RICO on him. Now, what she did after I said that was she came back and said, Diddy's under a RICO investigation. Okay, even though he wasn't at the current time. And then she also said that she was the first one to report that Diddy was, the grand jury was impaneled. Now, that's a lie. Go look through her videos. Because she did not say that I said it first. What she actually said was that she didn't even say impaneled. She said a different word. And it was not what was going on at the time. I can't remember exactly what she said. But nonetheless, she didn't even know what she was talking about then. And she never knows what she's talking about until she listens to the queen. That's all I'm saying. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Now let's get into it. All right? Let's get into it. Yes, she's a copycat. Absolutely. Copy and paste. That's what she does. And that's why last night when I got these papers that I'm about to read to you, that's exactly why I didn't report on it last night. I said, I'm going to let her go ahead and report on it. And then I'll do it in the morning or tomorrow afternoon. Okay. Because what she does, what she tries to do sometimes is, sit back and wait to see what I'm going to say. The same thing, ironically, that she accused Murad Morali of doing. Said that he sits back and waits for her to post so he can copy her talking points. Well, I'll tell you like this, if Murad's copying her talking points, he needs to learn. He needs to find somebody who knows what they're talking about first. Okay? And that's why I keep saying, y'all heard it here first. All right. And so with that being said, thank you, JC. Okay, so now let's talk about these papers that were filed. And also one of Diddy's exes that I never even heard of. Have you all ever heard of a woman by the name of Kat Dyson? I think is her name. She was in that documentary about Diddy and she has some things to say, which we'll get into. But let me share my screen so you all can see the documents, honey, because Diddy's team, they're not playing games, okay? And this is just not looking good for the feds. Like I told you all days ago, what are they even doing? If they don't get it together real quick, Diddy's artists might just walk up out of there. Because, as I keep reminding you all, it's not what you know, it's what you can in fact prove. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, this was filed on yesterday. Dear Judge Subramanian, we write on behalf of Sean Combs to respond to the declaration submitted by the government on January 17, 2025, docket 13, and in further support of Mr. Combs' motion for a hearing, suppression, and other relief. Now, the declarations show that ever since the government first tried to use Mr. Combs' privileged notes to continue his detention, it has presented a materially false narrative about how it got access to these sensitive, privileged materials, okay, containing his defense strategy and communications with his attorneys. Most significantly, the declarations reveal that the Southern District of New York supervisors directed the BOP to search Mr. Combs' unit because of its investigation and prosecution of Mr. Combs. Now, I want you all to also remember that I am the one who told you all that first as well. I told you all that when they did that interagency investigation into the jail where Diddy is, that they were absolutely targeting Diddy, okay? Trying to act like they all of a sudden are so concerned about prisoners turning up dead and contraband. This has been going on for years, but now that Diddy's there, now y'all want to investigate? So I already knew what they were up to. They were targeting him. Okay, so goes on to say they demonstrate that the government has consistently monitored Mr. Combs' legal calls. In other words, they confirm what Mr. Combs has been arguing all along, that the search was conducted based upon a pretext, not for any legitimate penological reason, and that Investigator 1's surveillance before and during the search violated Mr. Combs' constitutional rights and invaded the attorney-client privilege. First, the declarations refute the government's repeated claims that the BOP sweep was carried out solely to further legitimate penological interests and did not target Mr. Combs. Now, the declarations expose that after the sweep began, it was unclear whether Mr. Combs' unit would be searched at all. Moreover, the search of that unit was carried out specifically at the direction of Southern District of New York supervisors, including the supervisor for this case, because of their interest in obtaining evidence against Mr. Combs. And what did I also tell you all? When you get illegally obtained evidence, that's not supposed to be admissible in the court of law because it's known as fruit of the poisonous tree. Now, second, the declarations show that Investigator 1 became an agent of the prosecution team and worked to advance its case. He searched Mr. Combs' bunk for evidence, not contraband, and it is clear his purpose was to gather evidence for the prosecution, not police any potential threats to DMC security. Indeed, it was, and that's exactly what I said, that they were not trying to find out why inmates were being killed or anything about contraband. That was all contraband. That was all just a lie. Okay, that was a ruse. Now, indeed, it is notable that even though he has been surveilling Mr. Combs' communications for months, to this day, the BOP, and that's the Bureau of Prisons, that's what BOP stands for, has not taken any actions to discipline Mr. Combs for any purported violations of MDC policies. Mr. Combs has never received so much as a write-up in his 4 months in BOP custody, despite the government's repeated complaints about his alleged obstruction for MDC and supposed violation of policy. So if he was violating policies, there should have been some write-ups or some type of consequences or whatever. And there has been none. So this just looks like the feds just grasping at straws and making up bullshit. And see, this is all bad. This is all bad because these are the kind of things that I told you can get Diddy out of there, okay? And illegally obtaining evidence and all of those things, muddying the waters for potential jurors by leaking evidence to the press, which they've been accused of, and in fact have been called out by the publications, the media publications, of which they supposedly leaked it to. Third, they say the declarations confirm that the government was complicit in Investigator 1's continuous monitoring of Mr. Combs' privileged communications. Investigator 1 admits that he listened to Mr. Combs' calls, including with his counsel. Now, he was not supposed to do that, okay? There's the problem. If you're monitoring his calls, you're not supposed to be listening to what he says to his counsel. And that all those recordings, including the ones with attorneys, are being furnished to the U.S. District Attorney's Office. Do you all see how this is a huge problem? Finally, the declarations raise additional questions that cannot fully and accurately be answered except through discovery and an evidentiary hearing. As just one example, despite reporting to prosecutors that he personally took the photographs of Mr. Combs' notes. Now, they have this part redacted for whatever reason. Maybe it contains some names or whatever. Now, the declarations are inconsistent with each other. They omit key details, rely extensively on hearsay, which we know that hearsay is not admissible in a court of law, and are remarkably vague as to key points. The truth will only be fully revealed if the government's claims can be tested through cross-examination of witnesses who have an actual knowledge of the material facts. Likewise, the court cannot fashion appropriate remedies without the complete information that can only be discovered through such a hearing. Now, the declarations contradict the government's prior representations concerning the reasons for the search and who directed it. The government previously claimed that the MDC sweep was planned by prison officials well in advance of Mr. Combs' arrest, was motivated solely by legitimate penological interests, and did not target Mr. Combs. It further claimed that no one on the case team supervised, conducted, or participated in the search, and that the search was organized and executed primarily by BOP staff. These claims were essential to the government's opposition, which rested on the notion that prison officials are presumed to do their best to evaluate and monitor objectively the security needs of the institution, including in deciding whether a search is even necessary. But these claims were false. The truth is that the search, now see, this is all leaning towards prosecutorial misconduct. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. This is leading towards that the prosecution engaged in nefarious and unethical practices of which they use to obtain evidence that they should not have, and also breach attorney-client privilege, or basically breach the fact that you're not supposed to have private information between an attorney and his client. Now, the truth is that the search of Mr. Combs's unit apparently was not even part of the BOP's original plan for the sweep, but it was Southern District of New York supervisors, including the trial team's own unit chief, Supervisor 1, who ultimately directed the search. Now, that's interesting. And the search was conducted not for legitimate institutional security reasons, but because Supervisor 1 was interested in searching Mr. Combs. So they absolutely targeted Diddy, according to Mark Agnifilos's filing. This is what he is alleging, and in fact, that is what I believe to be true. Okay, now specifically on the morning of the second day of the sweep, representatives from the BOP and other federal agencies met to discuss a potential search of Mr. Combs's unit. Slavic, oh, that's the case. Okay, now the agencies had not previously decided whether such a search was necessary and inquired into the position of the USAO Southern District of New York regarding the potential search. Now, Supervisor 2 and Southern District of New York unit chief, who helped plan the MDC sweep and was present during the sweep, then discussed with Supervisor 1 whether Mr. Combs's unit should be searched. Supervisor 1 stated that it should be searched in part because of what the prosecution team had learned regarding Mr. Combs's conduct at MDC. So Supervisor 1 conferred with Southern District of New York senior leadership and relayed to Supervisor 2 that Mr. Combs's unit should indeed be searched, which Supervisor 2 further relayed to the BOP leading to the search. Thus, while AUSA Slavic claims no Southern District of New York personnel directed how the search of Mr. Combs's unit would be conducted, she can't deny that Southern District of New York supervisors directed the search itself. Okay, but they sat there and lied and acted like it was directed by the BOP. Now, goes on to say that flatly contradicts the government's prior representations. The declaration also contradicts the government's prior narrative concerning its relationship with Investigator 1 and his motivations. The government previously claimed that the case team's investigation and the BOP investigation have operated independently, okay, as if one had nothing to do with the other. At 16, and that Investigator 1, docket 117 at 16, and that Investigator 1 was merely searching for contraband, not evidence, during the sweep. Now, if that were true, they would have only collected contraband, but they didn't. They collected evidence, and part of that evidence was Diddy's privileged information between he and his counsel. Okay, that's not contraband. Why would they take pictures of Diddy's notes that he was taking from what the attorneys were telling him? That wasn't contraband, and there's no way they could have thought that it were. So why would they, in fact, take pictures of that and pass it along to the prosecution? Because they absolutely were collecting evidence, not contraband. They weren't even looking for contraband. Now, the declarations show that both of these claims were false. This is looking all kinds of bad for the prosecution. Please pay attention. Now, in fact, the government and Investigator 1 worked in a coordinated fashion for at least 2 weeks leading up to the MDC search. And the trial team encouraged Investigator 1 to monitor Mr. Combs's communications. BOP personnel contacted Supervisor 1 on October the 10th of 2024 to inform her that Investigator 1 was monitoring Mr. Combs's communications and found relevant evidence. Now, that date is significant because it was 10 days after Mr. Combs filed his widely publicized notice of appeal concerning the detention order, and the same day the court invited the defense to make a renewal bail application. Okay, notably this, and see, basically they use that to deny Diddy bail again. That's what they're saying. Notably, the Southern District of New York supervisors on this case have been present for all court appearances in this matter, including that October 10th conference. Now, they redacted this portion. It looks like about 3 lines that they took out. Now, he spoke with AUSA Slavic on several other occasions in October and November 2024. Okay. Now, although AUSA Slavic never specifies when or in what capacity their conversations took place or what was discussed. Now, Investigator 1 clearly became an agent for the prosecution team. He collected, screened, and shared evidence while collaborating with a trial team prosecutor, and the fruits of his investigation were ultimately used by the government to try to detain Mr. Combs. Are y'all hearing this? Are y'all hearing this? See, this is all just so nefarious at the end of the day. Like I told you, they used the evidence that they found that they shouldn't even have had in their possession to keep Diddy in jail and for him to be denied bail. Now, I'm not saying that he deserves bail, because clearly he doesn't, in my opinion, but we have to go by the rule of law. You just cannot engage in nefarious and unethical practices as a prosecutor to deny someone a right for something that they should be privy to. Okay, or at least have the opportunity for, and this basically prejudiced the judge against Diddy when they were seeking bail. Okay, this is all crazy. Now, goes on to say he made a point of alerting them to Mr. Combs's plans to discredit possible witnesses and find dirt on people. In other words, court defense strategy protected by the 6th Amendment. Okay, they violated his protected right, unrelated to any legitimate penological concerns. And the prosecutors have used the information Investigator 1 illegally obtained in various ways. Now, we cannot know the full extent of the improper use of the fruits of the search without a castigar hearing. But for example, and then again, this portion is redacted. Like I told you, fruits of the poisonous tree. And despite the government's claims that Investigator 1 was monitoring Mr. Combs because of purported violations of BOP policy, Mr. Combs has not once been disciplined. So how were they investigating or monitoring him? Because he broke rules, because he went against policy. He'd never been written up. He'd never been chastised. He'd never been thrown in the hole. None of that. So Mr. Combs has not once been disciplined or even asked by the MDC to stop engaging in the cited conduct. Now, if Investigator 1's surveillance was genuinely undertaken solely for penological purposes, why does it seem that the fruits of his work have only been used by the prosecutors and not the BOP itself? Are you all listening to this? Now, clearly, Investigator 1 searched Mr. Combs's notes during the sweep to find evidence for the prosecutors. He was not searching for purported contraband as the government previously represented to the court. Moreover, AUSA Slavic states that the BOP was looking for narcotics, weapons, and electronic devices, none of which would possibly or could possibly be found in the pages of Mr. Combs's notes. Okay, even if that's what they were looking for, they know darn well it wasn't in those notes. So why did you take pictures of it and then give it to the prosecution? Okay, now the contraband excuse was thus clearly a pretext for the unlawful search. This is the kind of stuff that cops do outside in the streets. Okay, when they want to search your vehicle because you look like a drug dealer to them because they're clearly racially profiling you, okay, and they don't have any probable cause to do so, so they make up a lie and say, oh, guess what? I smell marijuana. We're going to have to search the vehicle. See, they give themselves probable cause. Okay, that's what this is. This is very similar to what the prosecution allowed Investigator 1 to do. Now, the declarations confirm that the government has via Investigator 1 consistently monitored Mr. Combs's privileged communications with his attorneys. In its opposition to the defense motion, the government claimed it made good faith efforts to avoid coming into contact with privileged material, and that it is contrary to facts and logic to suggest Investigator 1 was its informant in the defense camp. Well, that's exactly what he was. He worked as an agent of the defense. He absolutely was an informant, okay? He was informing on them, on Diddy, to them, okay? This is all crazy, but let's continue. So But it turns out Investigator 1 has been spying on the defense team all along. Do you all see how this is a problem for anyone that may be a bit confused? That, if they're sitting there, see what they're doing is, the prosecution that is, by taking this information that was given to them by Investigator 1, and this information being something to do with Diddy and his attorney's communications, this is basically not allowing the defense to have an adequate defense against them. You understand? Do you all understand what I'm saying? This is prohibiting them from being able to adequately defend Diddy. Because if they know all of the tricks that you have up your sleeve, if they know all of your plots and plan and your entire legal strategy, it is so easy, so much easier for them to counter everything that you do and to win their case. This is prosecutorial misconduct. I want y'all to pay attention. Prosecutorial misconduct doesn't just happen inside the courtroom. It can happen before, during, and after the trial. But let's continue. Now, with that all being said, Investigator 1 has thus repeatedly informed the trial team that he was eavesdropping on privileged communications, but the trial team never instructed him to stop. That is outrageous. Worse, the trial team endorsed his conduct by requesting the communications at issue. Accordingly, the government has obtained and produced to the defense over 30 of the defense's own calls with Mr. Combs. Now, it is an egregious breach of Mr. Combs' rights, and the court should immediately order the government and BOP to cease any such spying on the defense camp. See, let me tell you all something. This type of stuff right here is why people end up getting mistrials. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. This right here is how people end up getting a hung jury, a jury that's deadlocked. Okay, a mistrial and things of the like. Now, the Slavic Declaration is largely based on unsworn hearsay, much of which is vague and raises more questions than its answers. For example, the discussion between the unidentified BOP personnel and Supervisor 1 on October the 10th of 2024 lacks any detail. Important questions remain. Who are the BOP personnel? What was said? Why was Supervisor 1 contacted seemingly out of the blue by the BOP? And how did the BOP know who to contact? Who told them who was in charge and who they need to speak to? Based on the chain of events, it is likely the BOP had standing orders from Supervisor 1. They were instructed likely to do so, okay, or other Southern District of New York personnel to monitor Mr. Combs and report on his conduct. Now, when were such orders given and why? Those are the questions. Now, were there other communications leading up to this call? AUSA Slavic also fails to share what she personally discussed and when with Investigator 1. She merely states, I spoke with Investigator 1 on several other occasions in October and November of 2024. But again, glaring questions remain as to what was said and what expectations arose from those communications. Now, this part is also redacted. Like up, everyone, please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. The declaration further references, without describing, multiple conversations and meetings involving BOP personnel, certain Southern District New York personnel, and other government officials. It references multiple other conversations and meetings between Supervisor 2 and Supervisor 1, during which the supervisor specifically discussed Mr. Combs. There are also references to conversations between Supervisor 1 and Southern District New York senior leadership. The court's consideration of Mr. Combs' motion should not be based on such rank, nondescript hearsay. Further discovery and testimony from the individuals is required. This is all so crazy. Now let's read this footnote here at the bottom. It says the government claims it directed Investigator 1 to produce the recordings to the filter team. Remember that? But that is cold comfort for this egregious breach of Mr. Combs' Sixth Amendment rights. As we explained in prior submissions, the filter team process has failed as the production of multiple privileged notes to the case team, which the court had to order clawed back, and amply demonstrates. Now, In addition, since the filings of this motion or the filing of this motion, we have discovered multiple additional instances of privileged material being produced by the filter team to the case team. So they've been doing this. It wasn't a one-time thing. Okay, they did it more than once on multiple occasions, according to this filing. Now, for example, after defense counsel alerted the case team to the existence of a potentially privileged notebook from Mr. Combs' Miami residence that was searched in March of 2024, the notebook was produced from the filter team to the case team without any input from counsel. It was not until this instant motion that the defense was given the opportunity to make privilege determinations regarding the notebook. Additionally, multiple communications from an attorney at a law firm that has been on counsel's privilege list since April had been in the case team's possession until the defense asked for them to be clawed back. The defense has initiated other clawback requests in connection with additional privilege materials the filter team passed to the case team. As just one more example, the Slavic Declaration states Investigator 1 provided a high-level overview of the contents of the BOP notes, including the defendant's plans to discredit possible witnesses and find dirt on people. What specifically did Investigator 1 say? What witnesses were identified? And what else was communicated regarding the notes? Perhaps directing Investigator 1 to provide the photographs to the filter team in the first instance provided some cover for the case team. But if the high-level overview revealed the substance of the notes, it was not a legitimate way to ensure that the case team was not tainted by access to privileged information about Mr. Combs' defense. Curiously, in contrast to the Slavic Declaration, Investigator 1's declaration nowhere states that he described the contents of Mr. Combs' notes to AUSA Slavic. Compare with Slavic. Now, why the inconsistency and what is he hiding? Inconsistencies like this undermine the credibility of the declaration and further underscore the need for a hearing. Indeed, it is clear Investigator 1 previously misled prosecutors by telling them he took the photographs of Mr. Combs' notes. That is apparently not true. Yet Investigator 1's declaration still fails to identify the individual who actually took the photographs. Who is this person? What did he do with the photographs? Who else saw them? And did the government have any communications with this individual? Did the government ever interview that individual before filing its response to Mr. Combs' motion or to comply with the court's order to file the declaration? They have several questions. Please pay attention. The government uses a severely limited definition of prosecution team in an attempt to withhold critical information and dodge accountability. But as explained in Mr. Combs' motion, the rights to issue prescribe unlawful searches by government actors, generally including any BOP and AUSO employees, not just searches carried out by the case team. In any case, the prosecution team has defined the Second Circuit plainly includes the Southern District of New York supervisors and senior leadership. I mean, this means the people at the very top, okay? Not just the people at the bottom or anywhere in between, but the people at the very top. We're talking about supervisors and senior leadership all being in on this according to this filing. Now, it includes, for example, the prosecutor's office, okay? The prosecutor's office generally. An individual prosecutor is presumed to have knowledge of all information gathered in connection with his office's investigation of the case. Okay, so whether a prosecutor admits that they have all of the information, they're presumed to have it. Now, Supervisor 1 and Supervisor 2, as well as a Southern District of New York senior leadership, are not far-flung members of the executive branch. And then they reference the case United States versus Hunter, or employed by a different office of the government. These individuals regularly observe the proceedings in this case and supervise and sign off on the trial team's investigative activities and trial strategy. Okay, so they signed off on this. So yeah, they absolutely are to be accountable, is what they're saying. The court should order discovery and declarations from these individuals and eventually take their testimony at a hearing. The government mentions email communications, and the MDC is wired with surveillance cameras that recorded the relevant search. The court should order the production of this evidence and any other evidence in the government's possession relevant to the motion. It is the most reliable means of testing the government's dubious claims. Instead of sharing the full story, the government has cherry-picked a few facts and submitted declarations that undermine the credibility of its previous submissions, omits key facts, and raise numerous important questions about what really happened. A full hearing in which Mr. Combs' counsel are afforded the opportunity to cross-examine the government actors with knowledge of the facts relevant to the search is the only way to find the true facts and understand the full picture so the court can assess how best to remedy this grave violation of Mr. Combs' constitutional rights. So y'all hearing this? Now, Mr. Combs therefore respectfully requests that the government or that the court order the government to produce the additional discovery described in this letter, as well as whatever communications it has already shared with the court in camera, and hold a hearing. Respectfully submitted, Alexandra Shapiro, Jason A. Driscoll, Shapiro Arado Bach, LLP. And then it also has Mark Agnafilo, Tini Garagos on here as well. Ooh, honey, this is all getting so juicy. Please pay attention. And also Ana Estavio. All right, so there you have it, folks. This all sounds like a whole hot mess for the prosecution. Like they are just being stupid at this point. Okay, they are just bumbling this whole entire case as far as I'm concerned. Right now, they're going to mess right around and Diddy's going to get off like I told you guys. Oh, so crazy. All right. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Let's have a word from my sponsor before we proceed, because I want you all to hear what Diddy's ex has to say about him. I never heard of this lady, Kat, but let's get into it.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, you can purchase 12 Tribes oil for your hair at Etsy.com. Look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Now let's get into it, because they're saying that Diddy's ex, Kat Pasion, is alleging that she was forced to have sexual acts and that threats were made. So Sean Diddy Combs' ex, Kat Pasion, has alleged he forced her into a non-consensual sexual act and then threatened her. These allegations add to a growing list of legal challenges facing the music mogul in recent months. Now, she made the claim against the rapper, who has been languishing in a New York jail since September on federal charges. The Fall of Diddy, an upcoming documentary series by Investigation Discovery. Now, the series is expected to feature testimonies from multiple individuals connected to Combs. Now, they say he, of course, has denied the allegations against him as he continues to be hit with fresh accusations of abuse. Now, this was reported on yesterday. Kat, who first met the Bad Boy Records founder in 2013 and then dated him briefly from 2018 to 2019 after his split from Cassandra Cassie Ventura, said that she saw warning signs of his alleged dark side throughout the relationship. Their initial meeting occurred at a music industry event in Los Angeles. Now, she claimed that during one argument in 2018, Combs put his arm around her neck. Kat said he told her, "Don't you effing dare, because I'll call the police." I find this interesting. This is what he told her. Says he put his arm around her neck and told her, don't you effing dare, because I'll call the police. The incident, I mean, isn't that something? The incident allegedly took place at one of Combs's properties. She added Combs had also made unsettling comments, including during their viewing of the documentary about R. Kelly. The viewing occurred at his Miami residence, according to a source familiar with the situation, saying there's a little bit of R. Kelly in all of us. That's what Diddy said. She said Diddy told her there's a little bit of R. Kelly in all of us. All of who, Diddy? This statement allegedly came during a period when R. Kelly was facing his own legal troubles. She also claimed that after her 2019 breakup, Diddy told her, you don't want to end up like my ex, Cassie, which she took as a threat. Cassie has since filed her own lawsuit against Diddy with similar allegations. Now, in 2021, Kat said she visited Diddy at his Malibu home, where she alleged an assault occurred. The property, valued over $40 million, has been the subject of multiple investigations. She says it wasn't consensual. The person who came out of that bathroom and woke me up was someone that I didn't even recognize. The alleged incident occurred during what was supposed to be a casual meeting. First of all, lady, I have several questions. Why would you meet with him? You know he's a whole fool. He already made threats to you, allegedly, and then told you that you don't want to end up like Cassie. So meeting with him is what I would not have done. She added that he felt numb after the alleged assault. He felt numb and suppressed the experience. I think they meant she felt numb. But anyway, and she suppressed the experience. Mental health experts note that such responses are common among trauma survivors. She says, you feel so small and insignificant because this person has so much power and resources. Combs' estimated net worth at the time exceeded $900 million. Kat also alleged that Diddy later threatened her by telling her, I can call the embassy and get you deported back to Canada. So that's why he was saying he's calling the police, because he's like holding over her head that she's an immigrant. Okay. Immigration experts note that such threats are often used as tools of coercion against vulnerable individuals. A representative for Combs said about the allegations that Mr. Combs cannot respond to every new publicity stunt. He has full confidence in the facts and the integrity of the judicial process. In court, the truth will prevail. The accusations against Mr. Combs are pure fiction. The statement was released through his legal team. Now, the fall of Diddy airs on January the 27th. Wait a minute. I thought this already came out. How many documentaries do they have about Diddy? Because I just saw one recently on Peacock, the one that Al-Bashir was in. I thought that was the fall of Diddy, but let me continue. So anyway, airs January 27th, and Combs' trial begins on May the 5th in New York. The documentary is expected to draw significant attention to the music industry's handling of abuse allegations. These new allegations come amid increased scrutiny of powerful figures in the entertainment industry, with multiple high-profile cases bringing attention to issues of abuse and misconduct. Legal experts suggest that such cases often encourage other victims to come forward with their experiences. The upcoming trial is expected to address multiple allegations spanning several years, with prosecutors preparing extensive evidence and witness testimony. The case has drawn attention from both entertainment and legal observers, highlighting the intersection of celebrity influence and accountability. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think this lady's telling the truth? What do y'all have to say about it all? Simply Kai said there's a slew of documentaries on that thing, okay? Miss Sheila said 50 has one coming out. I know, and his has been picked up by Netflix. Now that's the one to watch, because I am willing to bet that Cassie is going to be in that one, okay? So anyway, this is all crazy. But listen, let's talk about Chris Todd, okay? Because remember, Courtney Burgess, didn't I tell y'all that he was going to get sued, him and that nefarious attorney of his, Ariel Mitchell? So now Diddy has sued them, and because he says that they lied about the flash drives and stuff, and that book doesn't exist. Now, with that all being said, let's go back to what Chris Todd says, because days ago he was on AT2's channel, and so Jamal says sounds fishy. Absolutely right. Ha! Hold on. Luna said Diddy just keeps falling. It's rated mid. Okay. So let's listen to this, because Chris Todd is on here still lying. And like I told you all, he's alleging that Kamora Lee Simmons is the one who gave them that book. I want y'all to pay attention. I'm gonna put an overlay on here. Okay, so let's get into it.
Drives that the feds are chomping at and kicking people's doors in. Those are from Kamora also. I don't know if you heard that last part or not. Ooh, somebody shut us off. I don't know if, can you hear me or no? You lost me? I might have to come back in by myself. You want me to come back? I'll come back.
My internet right now.
Oh, man. The Illuminati, man. The Illuminati's coming for you.
They got me. Okay, could you repeat, if you don't mind, could you repeat that again?
So what I was saying was that I think did you hear me say Kamora's name at least once?
Yes, you said Kamora is like the source.
Okay. So basically the flash drives, the tapes, that's Kamora too. So
what?
So yeah. So basically, look, she has plausible deniability. Matt Cox already said her name on Sean Atwood when he wasn't supposed to. Courtney told Matt Cox this, so they already messed up. I never said her name. They did. Okay. Now, the drives and the tapes that the feds have because of Courtney Burgess, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kim took those, Kim Porter. She gave those to Kamora. And that's,
okay, so you're saying Kim gave that to Kamora.
Yeah. Now, the word on the street is that Kamora had tapes of Russell Simmons and Diddy. And that partially she was trying to out both of them. So I don't know what's on these tapes. I've never seen them.
So Courtney had to go to the Southern District of New York and I don't want to say, well, testify would be the word, right?
At the grand jury, he had to go to the grand jury and he had to, sometimes they call it a ducis tecum or something, which means a warrant that you produce materials. So he most likely had that where they said, you better bring in the stuff with you, you know?
So again, if none of the stuff that Courtney had brought to the feds is brought up in the lawsuit or the indictment, does that all mean that it was a lie?
They never knew those tapes existed when they made that indictment. They didn't even know that Kim and Kamora had those tapes. So
do you think that he gave them Kamora's name?
Yes. He had to.
Okay.
He was about to go to jail.
Yeah. Because that was my thing. They're going to ask who's the source of it. Now, have you been called in?
I can't comment on that.
Oh, Lord. Y'all all about to go to jail.
Now, I want you all to pay attention. He said that he had to talk to them because he was about to go to jail, or he had to tell them where he got it from because he was about to go to jail. Remember when I interviewed his lying self and I told him when he was talking about he had videos of Justin Bieber and all this stuff when he was like 15, I said, you don't think you can go to jail? You don't think the feds are going to come after you for having that? It's kitty corn. And he said no. And then he said that they'd already come and gotten it from him with his lying self. They didn't come and get anything because no such flash drives exist. Okay, please pay attention.
Be careful. Please.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. When Ariel Mitchell went on TV and said, "Oh yeah, there's a minor on the tape," she's out of her mind, dude. And
okay, so there's no minor on the tape.
I don't look.
Or you said you haven't watched.
I don't know. I don't know really what's on the tapes because Courtney wouldn't show me them. The reason I said I saw them was because I wanted to get people to wake up.
Are y'all hearing this? He says Courtney never showed him the tapes. The reason he said he saw them is because he wanted people to wake up. No, sir. The reason you said you saw them is because you're a liar who lies. And what you were trying to do was to verify Courtney's lies. Remember how I told you guys months ago that these liars, they get up here and they will cover for each other, for each other's lies, just like Adria and Lamisha Fuller were doing? There are no damn flash drives, okay? And let's not forget that conveniently when Courtney Burgess was asked where he got the flash drives from, he said Shakur Stewart. Shakur Stewart died in November of 2008. So he had them all that time, and then comes out and says that Kim Porter gave him the book. And this was in 2018 that Kim died, November of 2018. But now they're saying they got it from Kamora Simmons. The lies just keep adding up. Now, how can anyone believe any of this foolishness? But sadly, some people will still believe it. And this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about with cognitive dissonance. People believe stuff because it sounds juicy and salacious, even though the people have been proven to be whole liars. But let's keep listening.
Like, these things might exist. Like, and we need help. We need help. Like, look, me and Courtney are good.
But also, you're promoting something that you don't even know if it's true or not.
In a way, yeah, but that's part of the game. Like, when you do
the game, okay.
Yeah, because look, if you think of like what I do with the OJ, Natalie Wood, Biggie, and JFK, and just my other stories, people are learning more about me now. They didn't really know who I was when this was coming out.
Now I want you all to pay attention to what he said right there. He said, when you think about his other books and whatnot, people didn't know who he was then. They're learning about him now because this is coming out. So he admits that this was a clout chase, okay? Because he's absolutely right. Nobody knew who the hell he was when he wrote those other books lying, because he did lie, talking about he solved the JonBenet Ramsey case. How did he solve it? That case is still a cold case. Never been solved, okay? Just lying.
You guys didn't know who I was. You're like, who the hell's?
Yeah, I know. You were offended that I didn't know who you were. You was like, I've been working on this now. I'm like, we don't know you.
Yeah, and I've understood that, but now when you really look at more stuff, you start to figure out who I am. So you're like, wait a minute, this guy, I'm not a conspiracy guy, but look, I don't always know everything's absolutely 100% true. Sometimes I just say it. So that's why I said it was a leap of faith when they said, hey, this guy, Courtney, says he has a book from Kim Porter. Okay.
Now, do you all see how this fool is lying here? And with that all been said, there are still some idiots who believe that that Kim Porter book is real, okay? There are still some people who believe that that book is real. Now, he's sitting up here admitting that he lied about the flash drives. Talking about he's trying to wake people up. No, sir, you're trying to grift people because you wanted that book to sell for fame. Because now he says people know who he is. And because you wanted the money. Also nefarious, but let's continue.
Sounds good. And that's where everybody was so confused in the beginning. Like Rolling Stone kept asking me, like,
and I'm telling you, you will definitely see deposits. You will definitely get checks.
I was skeptical in the beginning too.
Do you think it's true? Do you think it's real? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm just putting it out.
Now, I want you all to think about something. For the people that are still trying to imply that this book is real, this man is the one who put the damn book out, and he's even sitting here saying that he doesn't know. You know what? He does know. He knows it's all lies and BS. So rather than admitting that it's lies, he'll just say he doesn't know. That keeps him in the safe mode. That keeps him in the gray area. So therefore, when it's proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's all lies, then he can just say, well, I didn't know if it was true or not. But remember, he's also said in the past that he believes at least 80% of it's true. And he also admitted to writing some of it himself. So how are idiots going to still say that this book is true? And by idiots, I'm talking about YouTubers who are still trying to act as though this stuff has been confirmed, okay? Specifically one person I'm specifically talking about. But let's continue.
And now it's looking like it's real. So.
Oh, you believe it's real?
Well, now I for sure do, because I'll be sure just reiterated she had a diary. She was writing a book. she was going to do the Cassie move. Now I have a news source saying Kim was going to go get that money.
Now, here's the thing. Even if Kim did have a diary where she was writing down stuff, that doesn't mean that that book is true. That doesn't mean that he had in his possession what she wrote herself. And at the end of the day, how you know that he's a liar who lies is because, like I said, does he not remember that he literally told us he wrote some of it himself? Okay, and if he didn't know whether it was true or not, why did he ever publish it in the first place? That's because he just wanted the money. Okay, he wrote that stuff himself. He and Courtney Burgess.
And so
Well, don't forget that he was upset with you about the whole part of him and Diddy smashing. So, do you think that him and Diddy did it?
I never said they smashed. I never put that in my book.
That was in the book about Kim.
That's
saying
in
that
Courtney's book. That's not in my book. I X'd that out. Remember?
I have to go back to where somebody.
And let me say this, the mere fact that they have two different versions should let anybody with common sense know that it's fraudulent. How do you have two versions of the same book, but we're supposed to think it's real? Are y'all paying attention? Okay. Are y'all paying attention? Jamal said, who's interviewing him? Torre? No, beloved, this is AT2. Okay, it's AT2. And then Roddy says, men talking about other men smashing is cringe. Okay, exactly. But let's continue.
I read your book, but I swear that's where it came from, because initially Albie Shore was with you. He was all like, yeah, this is the book, blah, blah, blah. And then when it came out and that part was in it, he was like, oh, they edited the book and lied.
Now, respectfully, AT2 is lying. Albie Shore was never with Chris Todd on this book from the day one that the pages came out. Okay, that some of the pages were out before I think the entire book had not even been released yet. But I remember reading to you guys some of the pages that Albie Shore posted on his Instagram, and he was going in saying that it was absolutely lies. Do you all remember that? One's in the chat if you all remember that. Now, AT2 is giving misinformation. I don't know if he actually believes that or if he's just trying to paint a narrative here. But at the end of the day, Albie Shore absolutely never admitted that that book was real. He never said it was real. Now, he's sitting there trying to act like Albie Shore was going along with until he found out that there was a partner about him and Diddy. That's a damn lie, okay? Thank you. I'll see ones in the chat, okay? So we already know what the truth is.
Look, I'll say this because Albie Shore is still threatening to sue Amazon, and he's in for a world of hurt, man. Like, he better be really careful, man. They'll bury him. The Amazon.
But they took the book down, right?
Yeah, but we got paid. We got the money.
Oh, so he still want that money. Oh, okay. How many millions did you make? Can you send me a cash app?
We never made millions. Courtney misspoke about, okay, look, we can be honest now because I'm grateful for you guys and the fans and everybody. We sold 30,000 copies. Okay.
Let me stop right here because I want you all to pay attention. Okay, now some of you may not remember this, but now he's trying to pin it all on Courtney Burgess. He's saying that Courtney misspoke. He says we sold 30,000 copies. Now, he's lying, you guys. I already showed you the video where he said out of his mouth, not Courtney's. Because remember, he's the first one that came out talking about the book. Courtney came later. We didn't even know who the hell he was. We didn't even know that more than one person was involved in it. Even though he had said that it was, many people didn't believe him because he was already getting caught in lies. But if you remember, he's the one who came out and said that they sold, he bragged about it. He said, we sold 1 million copies in 12 days. Do you all remember that? He literally said they sold 1 million copies in 12 days. That's what he said. Now he wants to lie and say it was 30,000. Why do you think he's lying? That's because Albie Shore sent the cease and desist, and because Diddy's sons have filed to sue him, okay, for the book, saying that they want any and all proceeds from the book. So now he's trying to minimize it. Oh, we didn't sell 1 million. Courtney misspoke. We only sold 30,000. No, dude, you're the one who said it was 1 million. Don't try it. Give those kids that darn money. Okay, because you shouldn't have lied on their mother in the first place. And then someone tried to paint the narrative that because the kids are suing, that means the book is true. No, that doesn't mean the book is true. It means that they don't want some liar who lies, who's disparaging their mother's name, even in her death, to benefit, okay, from the book. So they want the money themselves because you shouldn't have lied. Now, please pay attention, but let's continue.
That's how many we sold. The book was banned after 3 weeks. Okay. Al B. Shore cost us 500 grand. By shutting our faucet off, right, we lost $500,000. That's fact, period. Now, I'll be honest because I'm open. This is a new level of this stuff. We grossed $400,000. We netted 400 grand. Okay. That's how much we made. That had to be divided by multiple people. I didn't walk with 400 grand. Okay. There was multiple people involved.
So you did split it. Okay. Because there was a rumor that you ran off with the money.
No, everybody got paid.
Okay.
I'm not a punk. You think I want them banging on my door? Like, they got paid. The people that we had to deal with, they got paid. It's over. It's done. We had a separate publisher. We had other people involved. Everybody got paid.
Charlotte said 30 of his or 30 combined. Well, beloved, he's talking about all together. The version that he put out, he's saying that the one that was on Amazon, that's the one he's specifically talking about, not the one that Courtney was trying to sell on his own website. And the only reason Courtney was doing that is because Amazon shut them down once Al B. Shore filed a cease and desist. Okay, so that being said, he's talking about combined through the sales on Amazon, they only sold 30,000, which is a lie. Okay, either he was lying then or he's lying now. And I believe that he's lying now, that they absolutely did sell 1 million like he said in the first place, but now he's trying to minimize it so he doesn't have to give up all that money. OG Patrice says, Queen, you're correct. Al B. Shore never backed that book, nor that lying ass Chris Fraud. Thank you. Exactly, beloved. Okay, now he needs to sit down somewhere.
Okay, but if my book was still up today, it would still be selling right now. So I'm going to tell you right now, Kim's Lost Words is back up online, and you guys can go to my website. It's going to be up any minute. It's called
Courtney is selling a book. So
he took it down.
Because he said that you can email him and he can send you the book that way.
He can't, that's dead. That was the Tell It All version. So what I'm doing is I'm putting up digital downloads of Kim's Lost Words. Okay. You can go to silvercoastprose.com. So it's all one word.
But how can we know that those are her lost words? Because now we have two competing books.
Hold on. Time out. Okay, look. Because I don't have a lot of time, but I'm glad to be on here. Look. Tell It All.
He said I don't have a lot of time.
Lost Words
are
mostly the same.
He said I don't have a lot of time, but I'm glad to be on here. But yet he's on here. Okay. He always acts like he doesn't have time for it, but he's always here for it. Please pay attention. This man is a hot mess.
An exact book. Okay. You follow me so far?
Yeah, one has pictures and one didn't redact the names, as I understand.
Correct. And then the original book has a prologue and an epilogue. Written by you know who? Kamora.
The Kamora. Okay.
So when it says
Kamora, this is Chris Todd, Chris White Jamal saying this, not me. Just in case you watching. Keep going.
Look, yeah, it's not, a lot of people already know it's her. So, and look, I have nothing against her. I think it's great, but this stuff got way out of control and she could have come out way before. She should have said something before. She played a game. Oh, I should sue y'all. I don't lie. You guys know I don't lie. It's like, Kamora, just come on, dude. Like, everyone wants to know, is this really Kim's book? Just say it.
I want you all to pay attention to this idiot. Okay, so he's really acting like Kamora is the one who is the cause of all this. He's really acting like Kamora is to blame. Are y'all hearing this? Everyone's waiting. You need to just come out and say it. Is this really Kim's book? Fool, you're the one who published it. How is any of this mess her fault? Okay, how is any of this Kamora's fault? 662 Peru says Kamora is a troublemaker. Is she? I beg to differ. I think he's the troublemaker. Now, she might be messy, but that doesn't prove that she gave him this book. And I don't believe she did. I'm just going to sit back and wait and see if she sues. Because they've told several different stories about where they got the book from. Okay? And then they've admitted that they wrote some of it themselves, or at least he did.
Just say it. Stop.
Are you worried at her coming at you legally?
She can't come at me legally.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. So look, let me say this. Tell It All and Kim's Lost Words are basically 94% the same book. In Tell It All, there's pictures, okay? And there's also the epilogue, the prologue and the epilogue written by Kamora.
Did you know that Amazon has a $50 million fund that they have to pay out every month? And here's how you can get a cut of
Talking about Kim. I was her friend. I said I would do this for her. She was a good person. She didn't deserve to die. That's not Kim writing it. How can that be Kim? It's not.
Well, we're unsure if she wrote any of the books.
Okay. Yeah,
we ain't worried about the prologue, epilogue, monologue, synagogue. We ain't worried about none of that. We unsure if she wrote any of it.
So let me say this to you. Let me ask you it this way. All right.
Okay.
So let's play your game for a sec.
Okay.
Let's say Kamora wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only person you could say wrote it. You going to try to say Courtney wrote it? Courtney can't write that. Courtney does not do that.
How is he going to tell us what Courtney does when Courtney's a whole damn liar just like him? Now, Rakia says Kamora gave the flashlights to Courtney. No. That's not even what Courtney said, beloved. Courtney said that he got the flash drives from Shakur Stewart. Now, I interviewed Courtney, and I also spoke to him on and offline. Courtney never once told me anything about Kamora Lee giving him anything. Okay? He never did. Now, that being said, he also lied about the number of flash drives he had. That continued to change. All right? And now, supposedly, it's come out that there are no flash drives. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. If there were flash drives, don't you think Courtney would be in jail for having child porn in his possession, just like I asked him when I interviewed him? Don't y'all remember that? I literally asked him. And he had to go before the grand jury because they wanted to know if he really had such flash drives, because that would be more charges for Diddy. And then if he actually had the flash drives, listen, y'all, please, I'm going to need some of y'all to exercise. I know it might be hard, but some of y'all, please try to think about this logically, okay? If Courtney actually had flash drives and he showed them to the grand jury, because remember, he was called twice to testify before the grand jury. If he had flash drives, don't you think he would have had to give that over to the prosecution or present that in evidence in court as evidence? And if that had been the case, don't you think that Mark Agnifilo and the rest of Diddy's team would have known that? Okay, because that's discovery for one, and for two, they would not have filed a lawsuit against him. Diddy has filed a lawsuit against this man for defamation, saying that he doesn't have any such flash drives. So why would Diddy's attorneys even allow Diddy to file this if they knew that there were, in fact, flash drives? There are no flash drives. Okay, there are no flash drives. Please pay attention. Trisha says, Queen, he also said on Sean Atwood's channel that he threw the flash drives in the fireplace. Yes, thank you for bringing that to the forefront of my memory, because I forgot about that. You see, he's told so many lies, both of these two numbskulls together, that I forget some of them. And he absolutely did say that, Trisha. I heard him say it, that he threw them in the fire. So first he told me when I interviewed him, October the 30th or 31st, I believe it was. And I took down the video because I told y'all he was lying and defaming Al B. Short. So with that all being said, he told me that the feds came and got the videos from him, the flash drives. Because when I asked him, well, don't you think you have something to worry about, that you might go to jail or be brought up on charges for having possession of child porn if Justin was only 15? No, because matter of fact, the feds came and got it from me 2 days ago. Then he told Matt Cox, I believe it was, that the feds raided his home. And then when Matt Cox asked him for proof, he sent him a subpoena, which was basically saying that he had to come and testify before the grand jury. There was no raid. And even if you remember, I showed you the video footage where he and his Lion Arts attorney, Ariel Mitchell, were on News Nation. And then when they were asking him about the flash drives, she really was trying to tell him what to say and trying to speak for him because she knew he was lying. Okay? And then when they asked him how many minors were on the flash drives, he said about 3, at least 3. Do you all remember that? Because I showed it to you more than once. I literally showed it to you just the other day. I showed it to you again the other day, just to reiterate my point. That's right. Deron said, God tell lies to cover up lies. Okay? So, honey, he's lying. He does not have any flash drives, nor has he ever. Okay, and if he did have flash drives, why the hell would he say that he got them from Shakur Stewart, who died in 2008? And now we're supposed to think that Kamora Lee Simmons gave him the book and flash drives? Okay, OG Patrice said, yes, Queen, I remember. Okay, Dorana said he did say that, Queen. Thank you. All right, so how does anybody believe anything that either of these two says?
People can barely understand what Courtney says. You think he wrote a you think he wrote a book? No.
Absolutely not. No, I don't think he wrote it. No.
Okay, so you either are saying like either Kamora Lee Simmons wrote that book, or Kim Porter wrote the book, or some ghostwriter wrote the book. Those are the only 3 people.
Those are the only 3 people, Chris Todd, aka Jamal T. Millwood, but you're the one who published it first. You're the one who put it out, sir. You're the one who admitted that you wrote some of it. Do y'all hear this man? Now he's saying the only 3 people could be Kim Porter, Courtney Burgess, or Kamora. He completely alleviates himself from the scenario. He completely leaves himself out of the equation when he's the one who literally published it. Okay, Trisha said y'all wrote the whole damn book. Exactly, because it's all lies and BS. How can anybody at this point even think that this is true? But Final Duba said, why is Kamora's name even mentioned? Exactly, because now they're trying to get out of it because lawsuits are being filed. That's what I believe, beloved.
Can I say 100% that Kamora didn't write it and Kim did? I don't know. I'm tired. I've been dealing with lawsuits. Albie Shore's lawyer threatens me once a week. Do y'all
hear this? Do y'all hear this? Aqua Girl Ryan said he was calling himself the ghostwriter. Exactly. Talking about Albie Shore's lawyer threatens him once a week. Well, he should. Okay, the Griff Dies Hard here says Courtney thinks that Hollywood is going to knock at his door and he thinks he's going to make a movie. So he's talking out of both sides of his mouth to protect himself. Okay. And here's the thing. Remember when I told you guys that I had reached out to Chris Todd when he first came out with the lies and he was on Matt Cox's show, or whoever show he was on first? I can't recall. I think it was it Matt Cox? I know Courtney was on Matt Cox's show first. But when Chris Todd first came out, remember I told you all I thought he was lying and I reached out to him for an interview and I told him that I don't believe you. I don't believe you and I want to get to the bottom of it. I want to know what really is going on with this book. And then he told me, oh, I'm not doing any interviews right now. And then he did one like 2 days later. He didn't want to interview with me because I let him know that I didn't believe him. And then also somebody later told me, Courtney later said that another reason he didn't want to interview with me is because my last name's Shakur and he was concerned as to whether or not I actually know Tupac. Because remember, that name that he used for the title of the book, the pseudonym, Jamal T. Millwood, he said that name was tied to Tupac, like Tupac's living under that alias. These people are absolutely nefarious. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. Dorina says Courtney can be a double for Mr. Brown on Meet the Brown. Okay, and for Bishop T.D. Jakes, too. He also looks like a doppelganger for him. I'm just
tired. It's like, go figure it out, you guys.
But I wouldn't be too worried about Albie Shore. I'd be worried about Kamora Lee. I mean, you putting a name on it.
They've already said her name. And look, Kamora is a wealthy person. Kamora is a praying mantis, and I mean that in a good way.
How can you call someone a praying mantis, sir, and say you mean that in a good way? But he calls Kamora Lee a praying mantis. I want y'all to look at this fool. Hold on, look at him. Y'all see that? Now, I'm sorry, what does he look like? Since he wants to go in on Kamora, talking about she's a praying mantis, what does he look like? I have several questions, sir, but let's rock out.
She's very bright. I used to watch her show. I grew up with her. I used to watch it. Literally, I watched her show. So Kamora is a smart person. She's in a lot of lawsuits right now with her ex-husband, with the 1MDB lawsuit, with Tim Leisner, all that, man. Those people went to jail. That was a big deal. Celsius, the Russell Simmons. She has enough problems.
She has enough problems, but you're adding to them, sir? Oh, Lord have mercy.
No, he's like on the phone with her now. Is that Kamora?
Yeah, that was Kamora. Kamora said, "Get ready to run, White Jamal, because I'm coming for your ass." That was Kamora, everybody on the phone.
Oh my God.
She was just letting me know.
I literally
Listen, you need to run. Kamora is coming for that ass. Like, this is not a game. Chris, I'm trying to warn you, this is not a game. Like, you need to run. Like, you don't put this lady name out there.
I'm attorney Bob Diamond, and I need your help. I'm known as America's tax sale attorney.
Do you want to know who my protection is on all this?
Who?
Courtney Burgess.
So do you think Courtney Burgess will now say Kamora Lee, like he will back you up on this, or is he going to?
He might deny it to have plausible deniability for Kamora. He might say I'm a liar. He might call me a liar, right? So that's just part of the game, man. Look.
Yeah, but how can you okay, so if he calls you a liar, that's going to make us even more suspicious about you.
Well, we're
already suspicious. Well, we're suspicious about everybody. Let's be honest.
Well, let me ask you this: are you going to believe Courtney Burgess or Chris Todd?
Neither.
Is there a choice for neither? Neither is really the answer.
I'm crazy.
Okay.
I can't put my foot on that. A lot of people want to know, like, do you feel bad for any of this, because you are the cause of a lot of dysfunction online?
I believe it's Kim's words. So for me, I don't feel bad. If it was her dying wish to say this, then absolutely not. If I did it for her, yeah, it caused a lot of problems, but it also brought a lot of hope, healing, and closure to people, I think, in the African-American community. And look, I knew I was going to catch a bunch of crap from people.
I'm sorry, but how did this man, who's clearly a nefarious liar, how could he sit there and say that it brought closing, healing, and all of that in the African-American community? So he's out here helping Black people by profiting off the death of a Black woman? Is that what he's saying? Well, of course that's what he's saying. I want y'all to pay attention. The nerve and the audacity of it all. OG Patrice says, Kamora may have been a lot of things, but I don't believe she betrayed her friendship or the legacy of Kim Porter regarding that book. I absolutely agree. And here's the thing. Kim Porter would never have said such things about Al B. Sure, okay? She would never have said such things about Al B. Sure. That's what I'm pretty sure of. So this is all just crazy.
People, by even leaving Jamal Millwood's name on there. But at the time when Diddy was not arrested, I decided I was not going to put my name on the book. So
I can see that. Yeah. Now, I know the kids have put out a statement saying that the book was false. Have they tried to sue you or no?
Yes, the children sent me a cease and desist, as did Diddy, from jail. Christian and Quincy, his lawyer, emailed me threatening me. They sent it to Courtney also, and Ariel. And Albie Shore is threatening to sue me, and he's threatening to sue Jeff Bezos.
Is Ariel representing you or no?
No.
Okay.
She's
Because
Courtney's lawyer for the grand jury. She's his lawyer for like his defense lawyer.
Okay, because it's like once Courtney came out the bushes and then she linked up with him, you kind of got pushed in the back. How do you feel about that?
Because I linked them up. They only know each other because of me. That's what a lot of you guys don't know.
Oh.
Okay, I think we've heard about enough. I think we have heard about enough. Somebody said Diddy's nose looks different in the mugshot. That isn't Diddy, beloved. That's his doppelganger. Okay, that's supposed to be a Haitian guy. That's not Diddy. Okay, look, Queen Sam said, I thought he didn't have a lot of time. Exactly. Okay, exactly. Now, let me tell you when he and Courtney both don't have a lot of time, beloved, is when somebody starts pressing them about lies they're telling. And then all of a sudden, Courtney looks at his watch or his phone and says, oh, I got to go. My lawyer's calling me. Oh, I can't get into that. I've got somewhere to be. That's when they run for the hills. But as you can see, AT2 was taking it light on him. And then he's sitting there shifting the blame to Courtney and then also to Kamora Lee Simmons. These people don't have anything but a bunch of lies that they themselves made up. Okay, a bunch of lies that they themselves made up. That's what it is. Okay, Dr. Deb says the truth will set you free. Exactly. Jason said he doesn't have time to make the lies make sense. Okay, I just want y'all to pay attention, honey. This is all so crazy. I hope that Albie Sure does sue both of them. All right, I hope the kids sue both of them. Albie Sure sued both of them. Diddy sued both of them, because at the end of the day, they don't need to make a dime off of Kim Porter. Okay, and then someone said in the chat, I forget who, said that Amazon took the book down because they figured it was lies. They figured out it was lies. Yes, because it couldn't be authenticated. Nothing in that book has been authenticated. Nothing in that book has been confirmed. Okay, the kids are saying that it's lies. Kim's family and friends are saying that it's lies. Diddy said that it's lies. Albie Sure said that it's lies. Nobody has confirmed anything about that nefarious book that they use to profit off of a Black woman's death. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. And then here's the thing. He's sitting there saying that Courtney is the one who can save him. You know why he said that? And then he turned around and said, Courtney might say that he's lying. Well, when he's talking about Courtney saving him, basically what he's talking about is him throwing Courtney under the bus and letting Courtney take the fall for this. Okay, Courtney's the first one that got sued, which is interesting because he's the first one who put the book out. Okay, he's the first one who brought attention to the book. Okay, so please pay attention. He needs to be sued just like Courtney. And I hope that eventually he is. All right, so anyway, with that all being said, let me make sure I didn't forget to tell you guys anything. Everyone, please hit that like button. Please like and share. Okay. Let me just show you all something real quick. How people are so messy. I just want to show y'all how some people are so messy. This is funny as hell to me. I want y'all to listen. This is funny as hell to me. I'm like, do y'all ever, one's in the chat, do you guys ever listen to some celebrity gossip and be like, why the hell is this even a story? Why are you even talking about this? I want y'all to hear this. This literally had me cracking up. Okay. This literally had me cracking up. All right. Please pay attention. And this is why I refuse to be a celebrity blogger. Okay. A celebrity gossiper. I might talk about celebrities on occasion, but not like this. Listen to this foolishness. Watch this.
Harry Styles is actually bald, and here's all the proof. Some of his fans have taken pictures during his performances of his hairpiece flying off. I mean, come on, that's so convincing. So an anonymous tip was sent to this account, and it says an A-list musician / occasional actor has a dirty little secret he hasn't shared with fans. Literally, he has almost gone completely bald. His hairpiece is so lifelike that only a good eye could pick it out, and that's on a bad day. However, he doesn't take it off and clean it enough.
Who's most likely to go bald first?
And that video was from when he was in One Direction, so imagine how much hair loss he could have had since then. In this photo, you can see the lining of the toupee sticking out from under his hair. Like right there. See that? He also talks about how easy it is to go out in disguise. Yeah, maybe because you're bald, so no one would recognize you. But like, look at his hairline here, and then look at it here. Like, it's so different. And it's nothing to be ashamed of going bald, but like, that, they are different. Let me know what you guys think, and follow my TikTok.
I think that you're being messy, man. What does Harry Styles ever do to anybody but mind his own business? Okay, that man had some lovely locks upon his head when he, in fact, was younger. Now that he's getting older and his hair is falling out, man, why do you feel the need to try to embarrass him by drawing further attention to it? Talking about Harry Styles is going bald, and here's all the proof. Is she serious right now? Of course she was. Now, who did she think was looking for proof that that man was going bald? Girl, nobody cared. That is absolutely nefarious, OG Patrice. Ice One said, you cracked me up. Honey, she cracked me up. I mean, she was so adamant. Cannot. Okay, she seemed as though she were walking into the courtroom to prove it beyond a shadow of doubt. Harry Styles is going bald, and here's all the proof. Exhibit A. Like, girl, leave that man alone. Okay, leave that damn man alone. Harry doesn't bother anybody as far as I'm concerned. I mean, we're sitting up here having plights of world hunger, you know, war going on, genocide being committed, and all sorts of nefarious things that Trump's doing, taking away DEI. And lady, Elon throwing up the Roman salute, aka the Nazi salute, and you're telling us about Harry Styles losing his hair and bringing receipts to boot? Girl, I'm sorry, but I absolutely cannot. Okay, OG Patrice said that music playing behind the video. Exactly. I mean, that was sending me, honey. She's got the little creepy music playing, the mysterious music in the background, suspense filled. I mean, being so histrionic, in the words of Tony Busby. Okay, I absolutely cannot. Miss Sheila said, I swear anyone can make a video. Yes. Okay. Roddy said, Trump out here signing executive orders. Exactly. I mean, migrants deporting themselves out of fear of what Trump's going to do. It's all crazy. Queen says that she should lose her channel behind that story. Okay, that man ain't done a darn thing to anybody, but here she is bringing receipts to verify that he in fact is going bald. Girl, why do we care? Anyway, honey, I am so done with that. Okay, let me get up out of here, you guys. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one, and that's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive. Hold on. I got to tell you all about this. Hold on. Now, y'all know that Fox went in on Kamala Harris. Now, I want y'all to pay attention. Now, they need to leave Kamala alone, honey, because tell me how this makes no sense. Now, they're not talking about Elon and his nefarious hand gesture, but they want to go in on Kamala about this. Please pay attention. Hold on. Let me show this real quick, and then we up out of here. This is all crazy. Honey, people will talk about anything.
The New York Post caught her grocery shopping with Dougie Fresh. What kind of husband goes grocery shopping with his wife? The New York Post caught her grocery shopping with Dougie Fresh.
Now, he said, what kind of a husband goes grocery shopping with his wife? The kind that wants to pick out his own groceries, or the kind that wants to just go out there and protect her, perhaps. I'm sorry, but isn't that normal? Don't many husbands go out grocery shopping and shopping in general with their wives? It sounds crazy. You see how they'll just pick up anything to try to go in on somebody? But meanwhile, back at the ranch, they didn't have anything to say about Elon and that Nazi salute. All right, I find it all so interesting. Simply Kai said, one that wants to eat. Okay. Fat Boo said, what was that about? Okay. Gibble said, they can't just take their win and shut the F up. Right. Anyway, honey, I hope you all enjoyed this day. Enjoy your strong end, not the weekend, leaving you in a weakened state of mind. Okay, I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And listen, for those of you who follow the spiritual channel, we're going to be on there tomorrow because we're going to be talking about these entities that people have been, claiming to have seen. Okay, we're going to be talking about these nefarious entities, spirits, whatever you want to call them, that people have claimed that they have been seeing. And honey, I have some creepy videos for y'all to watch as it pertains to them. Okay, so tune in tomorrow. We're probably going to go live on there at about noon. All right, so until next time, beloveds, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got